A childcare group's exclusionary advertising has been condemned by city officials and residents in Canada after gaining viral attention. In Coquitlam, British Columbia, a sign appeared earlier this week promoting a whites only mom and tots group. After being spotted in the city, the sign has been shared across social media and even prompting an official response from the city of Coquitlam. In a release on September 25th, the city statement reads, quote, "The city is deeply committed to fostering an environment of equity, diversity, and inclusion for all of its residents. We are aware of the exclusionary and racist notice posted in the community promoting activities that run counter to these principles. We want to make it unequivocally clear that such practices and sentiments have no place in our city. Discrimination and prejudice have no place in our society, and they run contrary to the values that we uphold as a community." The note appeared to include a link to visit a parents who wants to take part in a whites only mom and tots get together, and internet users reported that it went to a Telegram group chat.
Now, find a new rival.
One person said, "Parents have absolute right to raise their children the way they want, not the way society wants."
Why did you just leave us here, Lord?
Another person stated, "The woke are so vilely ignorant, or maybe just don't care about individual rights. Maybe not in Canada, but in this country, America, the right of association is written into the Bill of Rights, and for a good reason."
Anyone ever passed you on the street, they would say, "That's a white person."
This person stated, "I see nothing offensive on the sign. If we have groups of all Chinese, all Asian, all black, all native, all Indian, then why not all white? I am okay with people getting together with others of their race of background. It is part of your identity. It is also okay to be living in a neighborhood where you are a member of a minority group, hence groups like these, right? We should all be proud of our race and heritage, even whites."
Another one.
This person said, "Horrid but expected. Liberals have spent last decade playing racial identity games where white is the oppressor and POC is the victim."
Truth be told, I'm not a very big fan of the black people.
This person said, "Everywhere you look, the past 10 plus years are signs that no whites are allowed in certain areas, groups, programs, and etc. Everywhere. Blatant racism against whites is the only racist problem we have today. Nothing wrong with it. If you have a problem with it, then speak out against all the anti white racist programs that are going on right now, too."
You keep talking, man, and you shut the fuck up.
It's funny seeing a lot of these comments saying for the last year, the last 10 plus years, or whatever they want to sit up there and state, when a lot of these countries are built directly off of racism. It's been built off of the fact of oppressing a certain group, who those in power felt are the minority, don't have any type of established power by way of laws, rules, and regulations, and also money or being able to come together in order to forge their own way, right? And we all know historically, doesn't matter if it's Canada or the United States, that those in power have done their damnedest to make sure that the others directly out there, the minorities, the indigenous folks directly out there, um, would have little to no means of making it the exact same way that they made it, right? Because originally, again, if you look up the definition of American, it will tell you that that definition solely belongs to those who are the indigenous and the coppered colored folks of the United States, just to give a clear cut example. And then the secondary definition of American then came into effect after the indigenous people were pretty much eradicated, right? So then the title American was then given to those of European descendants who were born. in North America. See how that works? But yet, that's not something that they specifically teach, directly in schools. So, whenever people want to talk about politics and race politics, people need to go way back. Go back to when things, really first started, in order to try to get away, right, from the quote unquote race politic issue. But even then, you still have a form of racism there, because those who just came there or found said continent will deem those already living there as inferior. So again, a lot of these things are, rooted. They are a part of the fabric. And it's impossible to escape any of this, because this is how a lot of these countries were established, especially when it deals with the European descendants, and how it is that they were able to rip and run through these wilderness streets and do the things that they've always been doing and still continue to do, even outside of the countries they quote unquote founded and established. But again, a lot of those individuals who left the comments that you are able to hear me read to you, they will never acknowledge any of that. They will say, "Oh well, I had nothing to do with that. I wasn't around, you weren't around," and they want to try to disassociate you know this from that, when everything is interwoven and connected. They just want to try to disassociate certain things because they don't have a way to really combat or fight that back. Right? They're not one of those great talkers that can weave together, you know, great words in order to say a bunch of nothing, but to look smart in front of, a whole bunch of other people. Right? But again, this is the world that we live in. The main people who have made race the forefront of everything, the same people who have also, done their fair share in making a multitude of laws against people due to the fact of the color of their skin. They are now the main ones sitting up here stating that, oh, we're done with race. We're tired of talking about this. We're tired of dealing with it. But you've been doing this for hundreds of years. You're not going to just, nobody's going to allow you to just try to throw your hands up now and run away from what it is that you started. You got to end it as well. You got to get your hands dirty just like you did when you first started it. You got to get your hands dirty now to clean up the whole mess that, you know, you created. But the problem with it is, a lot of kids don't like cleaning up their own messes.